Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of the Let's Play series. Oops. Anyway, last episode, I got this super smelter built here. We have a shulker box unloader underneath this chest here. You can throw your shulker boxes in, it'll take the items out, pull them over to this item elevator, and then run them down this hopper chain and drop them into the furnaces to be smelted. I left this room open just for maintenance access. Excuse me, for now. Now what we need is an output from these smelters to fill shulker box and pop them into a chest that's going to be sitting here. So I've dug out a little bit of an area down here to get things started. And we're just going to build a simple shulker box loader. It's one wide design. Once it gets full with items, it'll kick the shulker box off and dispense a new shulker box waiting for the next batch. So I'll probably have to keep one or two shulker boxes buffered in the system, because by the time that the shulker box gets unloaded and loaded, if this thing works the way it's supposed to be, it'll be right there in that area where it might take a little bit for the shulker box to get back over here, and we'll have items just waiting, and we need a shulker box already ready. So anyway, see, I also, between episodes, crafted up a bunch of these dispensers here, because we didn't have them in the last episode. Now that dirt block there will represent where our shulker box is going to sit, and we need to place a dispenser facing towards us like so. Now what's going to happen here is we are going to have the shulker boxes kicked out of the other system, running down some kind of hopper chain from over there, and they will come around and connect to this dispenser here. So it'll dispense the new shulker. There'll already be a shulker box there. Once the shulker box is kicked off, a new one will be dispensed. This way it's ready. So I know I've got to preload one, possibly two boxes, and we did go to the end and get a few buffer shulker boxes. Now, I talked about it in the last episode. My basic goal here was to get a system, mostly for glass, where I can just go out and mine a ton of glass, 4 or 5 shulker boxes worth, come in here and just dump the shulker boxes in, instead of having to place the shulker boxes, pull the items out, and then shove them into a chest, and that be taken into the super smelter. And then once everything's smelted, to be kicked back into a shulker box, so I can take the glass and go do with it what I please. I've got 2 major projects in mind that are going to require a lot of glass. If you subscribe to my channel early on, I did an episode called the Glass Monument Episode 1. And it's basically, I turned a ocean monument into, I changed all the bricks, all the prismarine bricks, and all the dark prismarine into a shade of blue glass. I don't remember exactly, but I used cyan, light blue, and blue. And anyway, I was going to turn that into a kind of see-through guardian farm, using the entirety of the ocean monument structure, and we had some unfortunate things happen after a update where our world bugged out. So we are going to get back to that, but I'm going to need a ton of glass, and that project is going to happen in the future. I don't know when. So, but to get things started, we need this super smelter, because I've also got plans for some things in the nether, and that's going to require me to dig out a bunch of things. So with that being said, I can take that and turn that into nether brick, and I'll use that in my builds. So I've started introducing nether brick back into my build palette, which is my favorite thing to build with. It's not what we're going to build this base primarily out of, but I want to have a good supply of it on hand anyway. So these hoppers facing in here are the input line for the items coming out of the super smelter. So let's see, we need a comparator signal off this bottom one here. And I don't have any stone bricks, so we're just going to use spruce. So that comparator will run into a block And then I'll need another block up above it. There we go. And then we need a couple pieces of redstone. And this signal will take a, or this will take a signal out and update this observer block, kicking the shulker box off into this bottom hopper down below. And firing this dispenser as well, placing another shulker box. So let's see, let's try to find our shulker box loader. Or unloader. Jeez. Getting confused on which one is which. And actually, you know, I don't know. I probably need to just dig this place out so I have some room to work instead of digging these little channels. Looks like our shulker box, or our looks like we're going to run into some redstone. That's to our shulker box loaders for our bulk storage system. So we might have to do a double, yeah, I don't want to remove that hopper there. We might have to do a double dispenser, which won't be too bad to actually wire up, and it'll pop the shulker box in there. That just means I got to have an extra shulker box in the second dispenser at all times. Or run a loop of redstone. I'm babbling. So let's see. I'll place some hoppers, take these back. I've got a little bit of work, or got an observer sitting on the ground. Those aren't cheap. Got a lot of work to figure, or a little bit of work to get this going, possibly a big dig. So I'm going to take care of some things. Let's see what I come up with. Alrighty, so I did actually dig out quite a bit. I've got this all hooked up with the hoppers running into the input line here. Like I said, I dug this out, got my hopper chain ran over. Already loaded up some shulker boxes into the system. So we need one placed here for items to go directly into, and then we have one in the second dispenser. So that it'll fire into the output dispenser. Anyway, the shulker box will come down here and be unloaded. The items will follow this hopper line that way. Shulker boxes will come down here, go into this bottom dispenser here, and trigger a redstone clock, which will push this shulker box into this dispenser, which will immediately be dispensed. So we only need a buffer of 2 extra shulker boxes. And then I hooked this line up to an item elevator, so the shulker box will be pushed into the chest up above once it is completely done smelting. So now I did some mining previously, or in between cutscenes. Got me a couple of shulker boxes full of items that I can smelt. And we actually need to run this thing through a test. So let's grab our box of sand here. And we are going to also throw up a timer and see how long this actually takes. And this will tell us if we run into any systems or any problems with the system. But we'll also hand load this thing with charcoal, and we will figure out the rest of the smelting, or as far as automating that process later. So get around the back here. And we'll just shoot some charcoal down. It'll do its thing. And we should be seeing sand coming along. What's going on? Huh. Ooh, we got a little bit of a timing issue there. Okay, but now... Okay, there we go. I see items flowing through now. Oh, they missed this in my original test. Oh, wow. Okay, there we go. That's got sand in it, but no charcoal. Okay, we've got some hopper timing issues happening. And my initial test, there was only this furnace here that wasn't getting items in. But that was with one single stack, not multiple stacks of items. So I'm going to time this, see what goes on. I will let you guys know what happens here after a little bit. Alright, we have had some problems. I was watching this thing with the last bit of glass come into, and nothing. It sits there. So the problem is, this hopper actually needs 23 items in it before it'll kick the shulker box off. You'll see that here happen just in a second. Anytime? No? Didn't do it. What the? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. So this thing isn't 100% reliable. The signal goes through, causes an update, and pushes us all off. So there's three major issues with this thing. First off, it's not dispensing. There you go. There, it worked that time. Let's see. One of them is this. I want this thing to kick the shulker box off immediately after it's full. I don't want to sit here and wait for another batch of items to go through before this thing kicks off the shulker boxes. So that's one issue. Another issue we were having was items kicked out of the item elevator. The items were going through so fast that items were actually pushing out. Now that issue is just the way I built it. That has nothing to do with It's only when those items start moving into a new shulker box will it actually dispense. Anyway, that's just the way I built the item elevator. That's an easy fix. The third and final problem has to do with the smelter itself. So I think we're going to change this shulker box loader to the ones that I did down in the basement there. But the third and final problem is the smelter itself. The hopper timing is still an issue that we are having. It's just a bug. It will be fixed. If anything like the PC, it probably will be fixed in the Java, or not the Java edition, the Bedrock edition. That'll probably be our next update. So I've got some options here. I can either leave this furnace array. Oh, by the way, it took 26 minutes and 20 seconds to smelt. That seems a bit slow. So I can either leave this super smelter as is, or I can completely tear it down and build one that uses minecarts that's a little more reliable. So, because I can't fix the hopper timing. I can fix the shulker box loader and the item elevator. That's no big deal. But if I change this, I'm going to have to change it to a minecart system, and that's not something that I wanted to do. So, like I said, I've got decisions that need to be made. This system here was designed for a bulk storage, obviously, with items constantly flowing in it. I don't want that, so I'm definitely going to rebuild that. If I rebuild this super smelter, I'll probably angle it around the corner one way or the other, and then move this item elevator to where it's got to go. But yeah, I'm flustered and frustrated right now. I'm going to tear this thing down. I think I'm just going to rebuild the whole dang thing. So 26 minutes with 14 furnaces, that seems, like I said, kind of slow. I don't know what to say. I didn't know that there was a hopper timing issue when I originally built this system. I did test it in creative and it worked. So I did some further testing and found out that it is specific to where you build it, that in some places it'll actually still work, the timing is fine, and other places it won't work. So literally you can move it 2 blocks forward from the original one that you started building and it doesn't work. Move it another couple of blocks and it works. So I got a little bit of tearing up to do here in the base. Alright, after some back and forth with, I tore it down and thought about rebuilding it, I've completely changed it up. So we are using a minecart system. This is a little more reliable. I've run it through a few tests now. So redstone's very simple. We got our item elevator moved from where it was over here. Close the floor back up. This minecart hopper will pull items out of this chest. This furnace here has 42 items in it, which will give a signal strength of 4. So this minecart has to have that same signal strength when pulling items out, or it won't release the minecart. It will sit there. Very, very simple redstone there. So what we're going to do is we're going to... Crap, I forgot to load these up. I'm going to take the rest of the charcoal out of this box and we're going to load this, this system up. And then we're going to go ahead and run a test and see how this one does. Time it. Let's see. Alright. Sorry, I'm checking some times and notes and all this other jazz. So I actually want to just put this shulker box on a hopper, so we'll move this item elevator for a minute and go ahead and let the shulker box take the items out and fill the minecart, and then we'll let it run back and forth a few times. Okay. I am crouched, right? Yep. Okay, that's weird. So you can't... Huh. Interesting. You can't click a hopper onto the side of a minecart. I wonder if that's a bug or not. This charcoal, by the way, we went to a little bit of a jungle, got a bunch of wood, and used that temporary little super smelter and made this shulker box full for this system specifically. We did change up the shulker box loader here. This is exactly the same one I have down in the basement. I'll kick the items off as soon as the shulker box is full. The only other issue that I have is I had to move this over, and you forgot to light it. And that's our item elevator for our input line. Still having an issue with the shulker box unloader as well. Okay. Had to go ahead and hand put all the charcoal in. I've got me a box of netherrack here. We are going to dump this in the system and see what happens. We only need to preload one shulker box down here. Crap. I was just mentioning this in the last clip before I cut. I am still having an issue with this thing. Some kind of timing is off. I'll have to look at it and fix it. Because now it'll dispense. There we go, and items are flowing out. Anyway, that's the least of our problems. So now these items are going up. Oh man, it only pulled 2 items out. Okay. What the heck? It typically waits till it has 60 items in it before it'll even send that minecart on its way. Let me get up here and let me look at it. I haven't tested this system, so this is technically the first test, or first official test. Let's see. Oop. Yeah, it'll go. There we go. Everything's lit up now. So let's see. That's got about 50 items in it. Not about 64. Huh. I had to adjust the items that were in that furnace to give a stronger signal strength. But so I guess that first initial rush of items in did something, but everything's getting 2 items, 2 items, 2 items. Yep, looks like everything's rolling fine now. So for that furnace, we had to put in 42 items. I was saying that to get a... We want at least 40 items in this minecart before it kicks off. Otherwise, it'll only have half of this smelter going. So if it has more than 40 items, that's fine. And let's see. The other thing that we're checking is we're making sure that this item elevator doesn't back up either. So yeah, it's consistently getting about 60 items in it now, a little over 64 items, and then it'll shoot off. So that was 70 items right there, 71 items. We'll adjust this. We still got a little bit of tweaking to do, I guess. Yeah, that's still 70 items. That's fine. Like I said, it just needs 40 items. So we want to test to make sure that this thing is dispensing right, and it is, for the most part. The shulker box loader needs to work 100% correctly, and then no loss on our items going through the item elevator is our third and final test. I'm also timing this one to see how quick it is, or how much quicker it is than the other one, if any. I think it is. It's 20 furnaces in total in this chain. So it should be significantly faster. So we got a little bit of, not AFK, but we got a little bit of waiting to do here and see how this thing does. I will come back to you guys with some results here in just a little bit. Okay, so the last item is being smelted here in this furnace. The rest of these are done. They're just dying off. Going to be a little inconsistent because we didn't smelt exactly a multiple of 20 furnaces. So that's why there's a couple extra in here. Also this, you guys saw at the first start for whatever reason. So we want to jump down here and see if this thing actually works. Please work. This has been a stressful build, and you can't look in these shulker boxes. Oh, the redstone's all on. Why isn't it kicking? Why isn't it kicking? I see my problem. I'm fixing it right now. I'm just... Oh wait, the shulker box. Oh, I'm an idiot. Jesus Christ, I forgot the piston, and I put the glass in the wrong set of hoppers. I wanted to place it on the other hoppers so it wouldn't go into the dispensing system for the shulker boxes themselves. Yeah, boy. But I do know the items come up into this chest properly. That was never an issue. So I want these 3 pieces of glass just across here, just in case. So now, let me take a little bit of netherrack out here and simulate a final smelting. Oh my lord. Okay. There's a new shulker box in there. Put a few items in here. Yes! Yes! We had no loss of items coming up the item elevator either. Final smelting time was 15 minutes. Or actually it was like 14 minutes and 30 something seconds. So it was significantly faster by 12 minutes. But there is all of our items smelted up. So everything that we wanted to fix has been fixed with this system. So now we just got to do some work on making it look cool, clean up our area, and move on to our next project. That's the super smelter knocked on the head. This has been quite a trifling day. We're going to put in some non-auto furnaces on this other side just so I can smelt some things.